Hey guys, Zeus here. I just went to the hobby shop and picked up a bunch of rims and tires for my Vitara drift car. Some of you know I picked this up a while ago. It's been a while since I've made a video. But I've gone through my tires pretty good. They're pretty bald and showing some foam and ripping. So I figured I'd go pick some up and while I put them together, I figured I'd make a video. I know there's tons of videos out there of people putting together tires, either rubber, like these. These are just stock Vitara, exactly the same that are on it now, except new. And these are HPI T-drifts. Just, they're hard rubber, so they drift, and these are HPI drift rims. I'll do a video of both, how to put drift tires on and how to glue up these. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how to mount up rubber tires on rims, and these are both just stock from Vitara. Now first you want to make sure, you see how these tires are going to be rotational, so you have points that are leading the tread forward. And you want to make sure that when you glue them up and put them on the car, they're all facing forward, or you're not going to get the best traction. Now the way I do that is, when I mount up one tire, this one's already done. When I mount up one tire, I see that the outside of the rim is here, and it's facing this way for the tread. So I hold that as if it was on one side of the car. It'd be over here, but you can't see it. It'd be like this. Now this tire is the other one. Tread is facing forward, rim is facing out. So you want them both facing forward while the rims are facing out, just like they would be on the car. Now, to get the tires on the rims, you just take your rim and you take your rim and your tire, and you want to just kind of feed it in there and stretch the rubber. You want to stretch the rubber over the rim and just kind of pull it. You see how I did that? I just kind of, I'll do another one so you can see it again, but I just, see now, I pulled it up and I'm just kind of playing with it until the bead gets right in there. Let's see, I'll pull this out. So, see up here, the bead is in, and down here, or up here now, the bead is out of the rim, and you can see because there's a gap. And you want to just kind of play with that until it gets in there. See, that's good. And I haven't glued anything yet. Now on the back, the bead is off the rim completely. And I'm just pushing it back on all the way around. And now, again, see, the bead isn't actually set into the tire or the rim, it's just kind of there. So I'm just going to kind of move it back and forth until it is persuaded to get in there. And you want to make sure that it's in there, because if it's not, your glue won't hold as well, and you can blow out a tire, or maybe the foam is trapped in between the bead and the tire, and that's not good for longevity of your tires. With ones like these, stock rims, if you can get them mounted, that's not a bad idea, but if you want to switch up your rims and your tires, then you can always just mount it yourself. But I found a lot of the time getting it mounted is the best way to ensure it'll hold. Sorry. Alright. Now what I use is CA glue. This is just what my local hobby shop had in stock. I bought this when I first got into the hobby, so that's a couple years now, and I haven't. It's still there's probably a quarter left in it. When you use this, you want to make sure you clean off the tip before you put the cap back on, or else it will stick, and it's really hard to get off. Alright, and now when I glue this on, I just kind of push back on the tire, on the rubber here, and I just kind of squeeze a little bit of glue just right there onto the bead, and I set the bead back in, and then I turn it, peel the tire back, set a little glue, and set the tire back in. Just keep doing this all the way around until the entire bead has been filled. That makes sense. Keep going. And I'm sure that there's people out there who are going to say that I'm doing this in a dumb way, or there's an easier way, or whatever, but this is just my way. I found that this kind of keeps the tire on. What I do after is I just kind of go and do a little... I'm not pressing any glue out. I'm just taking the excess and spreading it around the bead so that it'll kind of seal it better. And then that's one side. This side is not done yet, but this side is. So I'm going to put this off to the side over here with my other rims and see how, again, tread facing the same way, both rims pointed out as if it was on the car. So I'm putting these aside to dry before I do the other bead, or else you'll get CA glue all over your hands, which I always do anyway. And okay, now this is the back tire. That's another thing, is that with the Viterra tires, is that these two are thicker and they go on the back because Viterra did a really good job of being scale, and the front tires are a little bit thinner. So you want to make sure that your front tires are both faced frontward as well as your back. Now this one again is done, and you want to make, I'm going to do this so I remember. Take the rim, point it outward, make sure your tread is both facing forward, and then you just, again, stretch it over. So I do it one side at a time. I feed it in. And now I want to check again one more time. I like to check a couple times because once you start gluing, you're not really going to be able to get it off without ruining something, either the tire or the rim. Yeah, there are ways, but I don't know how those do to new tires. I would maybe do it on an old set, but not a brand new set. So again, I'm just kind of going around and trying to get the bead actually onto the rim. And this side's off a little bit, so I'm going to massage that on, and that side's good. Now I'm going to flip it over, kind of wrestle with this side a little bit. The thicker tires seem to be a little bit easier than the thinner ones. Not sure why that is. See, and then the bead is on, and then one more time, I just kind of bend that back and feed a little bit of glue, and make sure the bead's on there good. Turn it, a little bit of glue. Just kind of, I press down so that the glue will follow the bead around a little bit. A little bit. And what some people like to do, and if I'm doing an off-road car or a vehicle that will have a lot more force going to a bigger tire and making the ballooning effect, sometimes I like to tape the inside, and there's videos on that. And also I will scuff the inside of the inside here of the bead of the rim. See that gap? I will scuff in there, and I will scuff the bead of the tire. So that gap, right in there, that gap, and that lip of the tire. I'll scuff that with maybe a little some sandpaper or a file. And what that does is it gives more for the glue to hold on to. And I'm just finishing that up and pushing on either side. And then again, I'm just going to quickly go around. Again, I'm not pushing any glue out. I'm not actually releasing any glue from the tube. I'm just spreading the excess around so it seals up that bead. And then you just repeat that for every tire, and you're going to want to repeat that on the other side. On here, you do the same exact thing. You peel it back, put a little bit of glue right in between, push it back into the bead, and just kind of massage it until it's in there, and so that the glue kind of spreads, and you just go all the way around until it's fully glued. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to mount drift tires. These are a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about a tread pattern, but they're harder because they're not flexible and really hard to get on the rim, for me at least. Some people find this easy. I don't know why I'm having trouble with it, but I put these rims in the freezer for about maybe 20-30 minutes, and I have these, the actual tires, in boiling water. It was boiling just a second ago, and so I'm going to take out one of the tires, put it on the rim, and just kind of, ow, be careful, this is hot, obviously. There. Next. Next. So at this stage, I'm basically just doing what I was doing to the rubber tires, where I'm burning myself. No, where I'm pushing the tire just over the rim. This is getting harder and harder as the tires cool down and from not being in boiling, and the rims warm up from not being in the freezer. So then so yeah, be careful, because obviously these are hot if they just came out of boiling water. Also, there. So I found that you really need to have the water boiling, basically. If not boiling, then it just came off the heat. Put the tires in there, let them sit in there for maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then you have the tires in the freezer. So what I would do is put the tires in the freezer and then start boiling your water, and then get everything ready. And once you're ready, take all 4 rims out of the freezer, lay them out like I did, then take your water, put your 4 tires in there, leave them in for about 30 seconds, and do what I just did. Rim down first, put the tire over top and smack it, and then just push on the bead and it will get the tires on. And then once the tires cool down and the rims heat up from being in the freezer, they will be the same size and they won't come off.